Hello, and thanks for returning to this, the third episode of KMN, Kill Me Now. If anyone can remember what we spoke about on the first episode, drop it in the comments below. This week, we're going to be doing something unusual in that in the last two episodes, or the first and the second, we spoke about physical things. Last week was the Casio VL tone. This week we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to talk about a film called Civil War, written but not directed by Alex Garland. And if, like me, you like to unpack and seek the cognitive meaning of that which was once lived as a real experience until it feels like an inert lump of meaningless matter, then you might like to click subscribe below. So, Civil War, I mention, or I pronounce it like that because in the 2017 series of Homelands, there was a shock jock who often spoke of a civil war. And so this pronunciation rings through the Alex Garland written Civil War. And this film presents itself rather like a zombie film without zombies, which is a genius example of Alex Garland's writing, in the sense that he is able to tackle socio-political ideas and does not renege on the passion for plot that he has. And so the plot of the film carries the socio-political image that he presents. There doesn't appear to be a political agenda in the film, and yet I think many who come across it will form their own opinions of what they believe the writer is expecting them to take away from the film. The other genius aspect of the writing, I'm not just blowing smoke up Alex Garland's proverbial, is that he elects to tell the story of a speculative civil war in America via the narrative of a news photographer, thus being a key element of how he's able to address a theme which I see recurring in many of his stories, and this is the decentering of the anthropocentric point of view. Many of the viewers will know him from the film The Beach, starring Leonardo DiCaprio in 2003, in which DiCaprio plays a young man, part of a couple who visit a paradise island and become embroiled in lots of violent and viscerally challenging drug-related experiences. And the film that perhaps highlights Garland's need to decenter the anthropocentric more than any other is Annihilation, which concerns a biomorphic plant-like entity which is transforming regions, and any human that enters this region becomes subject to its undermining of chrononormative time and indeed the stability of matter, which chimes very much with current critical theory surrounding ideas of plasticity and a move away from the Western anthropocentric idea that knowledge is a fixed destiny. unfortunately, many are not as enlightened as Alex Garland, who still retains his trust in plot to reveal the image around which we may all gather to speculatively seek a more lyrical solution to the stuckness that confronts the Aristotelian taxonomic mind that has inhabited Western culture so fully. So the film at hand, Civil War, takes a more downbeat view of the decentering of the anthropocentric. In Annihilation, we see what is essentially a more sexy CGI'd version of Tarkovsky's Stalker, the Zoner, and this is very obviously about the anthropomorphic habit we have of trying to humanize rather than think, as other writers have, of what it feels like to be a bat, for instance. And so in Civil War, we see a young aspirational photographer who meets an older, more cynical, hard-bitten war photographer played by Kirsten Dunst. Kirsten Dunst is an actress who has established herself as playing characters with particularly unstable psychological personas, as evidenced by her role in the 2013 series of Fargo, in which she plays an actress, or in which she acts the part of a woman who is drawn into a wellness, female empowerment scheme, which on the face of it is a good thing, but there is always a sense that she is not completely psychologically stable, and had she not been played by Kirsten Dunst, one suspects she may not have been so easy to sympathise with. In Civil War, the character Kirsten Dunst plays is particularly hard-bitten, and we are able, through her and through the young apprentice, to examine this idea of the human analytical mind, which, in a very obvious way, via news photography, is morally expected to remain separate from the experience that they are documenting, and to not intervene. And this would seem to be at the heart of the Western idea of what Fred Moten might call the distantiated mind, the mind which remains outside of nature. So there we have it. Civil War is a lovely film because you have all the thrills of a zombie film, and at the same time are able to feel slightly less abject because there is a socio-political image, and I use that word rather than a directive. You know, Alex Garland has written this in a way that favours the plot rather than telling us what to think. So yes, if like me you like to unpack that which was once lived via the cynical distancing of proving how clever you are, then you might like to click subscribe, and until next time, goodbye.